What? Which one? The champs?
The final, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Honestly, I'd absolutely burnt out. I was playing right back in that game, and Bernard was in front of me. And I remember running back past him to get back to like our box. So yeah, going into that, I just thought I'm gonna give everything, leave everything out there. Whatever happens, happens. Absolutely loved it. Everything just kind of fell into place. Bit of drama at the end as well for us.
Bit of drama.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, wasn't it? Yeah.
The official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.
Nedum, we've got John Stones joining us today, and I would say we often get messages from fans asking who they want to see on there, and I would say that probably John Stones has been the one that's been requested the most. So our fans are certainly going to be excited by this. Are you?
Yeah, absolutely. Why do you think that is that they ask for him so much?
I think it's an interesting one. I was going to try and ask him. I think he's got a huge likability factor, John Stones. I think there's numerous reasons I think for that. One is in interviews he comes across as a very kind of, you can imagine hanging out with him or whatever. He's got a great haircut, but also I think there's like a stylistic element to the way he plays football. We've got a lot of good footballers at City, and we have had for years, but there's some kind of X factor with the way he, his physiology or whatever, the way he carries himself, the way he carries the football.
Are you okay?
He's got a style.
Are you okay?
He's got a style. And then there was the whole Cagoule thing when he first joined. People like that.
No, he does. He does have a style, and he does feel very unique within this City side as well. And I think everything you've said is true. He seems like somebody who you either know or you want to get to know.
Yeah.
And I think looking at this interview going forward, like, there's so many questions I'd love to ask him, but what I love as well is so calm, so cool, just so collected. Whether it's a 4v1 against him defensively or if you're just walking down the street, he's just like the coolest man in Manchester, isn't he?
And it isn't just the fans who like him. He gets mentioned by a lot of the players as well. He's very, very popular. I mean, we had, obviously, one of our recent guests was Erling Haaland, who's very similar in that sense. He's very, very popular in the dressing room. John seems to be another one of those where he kind of... there's no cliques, he's kind of, he's everybody's friend. So he's obviously a likeable guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he definitely has to be. I think the longer you spend at a football club, the more comfortable you can become in terms of being who you are. But then that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody has to like you. But when everyone does, I think that says a lot about how good a person you are. So this is a good one.
Do you think he's the best centre-back in world football at the moment?
Wowzers. Go straight in there, 2 foot that one, yeah. The best centre-back in world football. You could make a very, very good case for him, but I think you could make a very good case for lots of other players as well. But he is the best centre-back, centre midfielder combination in the world, yes. So that is me sitting on the fence.
Yeah.
But if someone wants to argue that point, say you, for example, on this particular occasion, I'm happy to say you're right.
Let's do it. Okay, so here we go. John Stones joining us on the official Man City podcast.
He hits it very deep, back in by Grealish, helped on by Stones, and then Rodri, and then Stones hits a left foot shot, and City lead!
What you got for me?
Nothing.
Why is he laughing?
I don't know. It could go one of two ways. This could go one of these 2 ways. It could be like love fest, or it could just be him just doing his job. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. John, thank you for joining us on the official Man City podcast. Let's start. How's your day going? I mean, we played a game last night. Obviously, you're in today to do a bit of recovery. How's all that?
Yeah, good. Normal day. Trying to get ready for the next one. My first podcast ever as well.
First ever?
Wow.
So okay.
A good way to start, isn't it?
Okay.
Amazing.
Well, it's only down from here.
Yeah.
That's what you're supposed to say now.
Yeah. So how do you feel the season's going from your perspective?
It's been difficult for me personally. Injuries and then re-injury and then another one during rehab and things like this, and yeah, tough mentally for during that period. You're trying to get fit and frustrating, but behind me now, and obviously won 2 trophies, which is incredible, and then we're in the business end now, which is great, and everyone's back nearly, which is so important. I think in these times, lads just are so focused, which is great. It's good to see everyone enjoying it as well, in difficult times.
Do you ever, as a fan, I do this a lot, look ahead at our fixtures and try and work out permutations. If Arsenal lose here, Liverpool. Do you ever do that, or is it literally game by game?
It is, yeah. Well, for me, I only know the next game. People ask me, what are you doing at the weekend? I said, I don't know. He said, you're playing so-and-so. I said, I don't know. We've got a game Tuesday, so that's all I know.
Have you always been like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if it's a bit of a, I don't want to say stupidity, but I think it's more of like
ignorance is bliss almost.
Yeah, like I can focus all my energy on that one game, and not get carried away with things. And that's what I can control is that game that's coming up. So looking ahead, I think closer to the end of the season you can maybe start to do that, but no, I think I've always just done that.
Do you know what? I think that's a fun thing, the way you were describing that then, looking to the fixtures ahead, tracking this, tracking that, like
I know them all. Like March, I've already looked
at
to the end of the season.
Why do you think you do that?
I've got no idea. I've always done it. Just get excited.
Get excited.
Yeah, get excited. Yeah, I've got a dream. I'm not going to talk about it anyway. I've got a dream we win the league at Fulham because I've always wanted to win it there. Because I think City fans would take over. And then when the fixtures came out, hate to break it to you, John, but we got Fulham second to last game of the season. And I was looking at that thinking, this could be it.
Well, there's the clip anyway.
Well, you never know.
That could be my dream.
I think, do you know what? I think from a playing standpoint, I don't know if you'd agree, like, if you overlook a team, you can get, like, brought back to reality really quickly.
Yeah.
Because no matter what, whether a team's up near the top or down near the bottom, no game's, like, easy. So if you start thinking too far ahead, then you've basically lost that particular moment.
Yeah.
And for these teams that come and play against, say, the likes of you guys, for some of them, that's their biggest game of the season. They want to give you their best performance because they know what it would mean to win against you guys.
Yeah.
If you beat City, you believe you can beat anyone. If you're in a bad run and if you're in a good run. So that comes with a different sort of pressure, I think. So that's why you can't look too far ahead, in my opinion.
You mentioned the difficulty psychologically with getting injuries. Do you feel stronger mentally now than previously?
Yeah, I think always you do. And you get scarred as well from it, as you don't want to. I think my aim or my goal at the start of the season is not to get injured, but football is so hard not to, or get a knock or something. But with my injuries or previous injuries, it's always a massive goal to be there and to be present and be around the team, helping the team. So when it doesn't happen, when I'm not available, it hurts me. It cuts deep, I suppose. And yeah, hopefully one day it'll happen and go full season, no knocks. But I think our fixture list now and the amount of games, even internationally, it's such a strain on your mind as well, not only your body. And I feel like I'm in a good place. I know how to deal with the different situations. I know my body better now, so I try and stop things from happening. But some things are out of my control as well.
How do you do that? Special exercises, nutrition, diet, that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, I think from a few years ago when I wasn't in the England team, probably heard me say that I went back to kind of the drawing board and looked at everything that I could do with food, sleep, recovery, different gym, and then myself as well. My attitude, my game. That's the biggest part, me going out onto the training pitch, trying to impress the manager, and then putting that into practice in games. And even now I'm still learning, obviously with a new role as well, which I absolutely love. But yeah, I don't think I'll stop learning until I finish my career, which is exciting in a way. But I think that period in my career really helped me, and kind of set a bar to know what to do, and I'm trying to improve on that all the time. But it was super important.
Did somebody give you advice at that point when you were, say, low there, or was it something where you just thought to yourself something has to change? Yeah,
I think probably a bit of both. It was more away from here with what I do extra at home. I just thought that if I do everything that I can, and it comes to the end of the season, and it didn't work out, I can look back and say, well, I gave absolutely everything. I can't have one regret, and I didn't. After, I can't remember what season it was. I think we were just going into the Euros. I think it was that season, and it was getting to a point where, you know, am I gonna stay? I don't know what's going to happen with what's. I'm not playing much, you know. So yeah, I really focused on that and looked not ahead, but it was, I want to be in a position at the end of the season to say, right, I've given it absolutely everything, and I can look back and say, well, if it didn't work out, I can, you know, hold my head high in a way, and I've set a new standard for myself.
Did you always wanted to stay at City as well, presumably?
100%.
That was your target.
Yeah.
And you wanted to earn Pep's trust, which of course you have done.
Mm-hmm.
There was a period where he would question things and you know, and try and put pressure on you a little bit, whereas now you're kind of one of the main men. How do you think you've turned his opinion? Is it all those things you've just said, that going back to the drawing board and changing things?
I don't know. I honestly don't. I couldn't tell you why. I think probably because I don't think about it too much. I always say that if you're enjoying yourself, everything's easier. Yeah. Everything's better. Obviously, winning helps as well. But yeah, I wanted to prove to myself that I deserve to be here, that I deserve to play here. I felt that even though at that period in my career I wasn't playing, I felt that I was good enough to play, help my teammates on and off the pitch. You know, I don't know how many years I'd been there at that point, but I don't know, there's something about it. Once you're here, there's something that you feel a part of, not the team. You feel bigger than that, you know, the people you meet, everything about it. And I just felt like I belonged to and deserved to be here, and I had to show that I deserved to be here after that. Now I've not looked back since, and gone on to achieve things that the club's never achieved, and been a big part of that within this incredible team. Yeah,
I was going to say the last 12 months we've won 5 trophies, which no team's ever done that, and you are now very much in the conversation of being the best centre back in the world.
I'm not so sure.
I mean, what would you, if somebody had said that to you 3-4 years ago, do you think you would have believed them or not?
Probably not. No. To be fair, with things like this, it's I find it hard to talk about it, because I think I know my kind of role or my place, what I'm worth with my teammates, my friends and family, and vice versa with everyone. And I think that's the most important thing. And then, you know, if people want to put you in brackets or team of the year or best centre half or whatever it is, I think the best opinion is other people's.
Yeah.
You know, I'm never going to say that I'm in that. I just want to play and try and win as much as I can and be the best version of me, and let other people decide that.
Do you reckon if you were one of the best in your profession, you'd be the same, or would you say your opinion's the best and you tell everyone how good you are?
If I was the best, I'd be telling everyone. Let me tell you now.
That's what I mean. I can fully believe that.
Fully
believe that.
Yeah.
Listening
in another alternative world. John's just
thankfully we don't have to listen to you.
Thankfully
we don't have to go through that at all. But it's really interesting to hear the way, like, you talk about football and your role within the side of things. It's like he's so chilled out, but then it's very confident as well. But hasn't always been confident. Feels like you've risen to become more confident.
Yeah, I think that's through experience.
Yeah,
or experiences, definitely.
And also then, because you mentioned it before, the new role.
Mm-hmm.
You say you love it now. Have you always loved it?
I think from the start, yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I think it goes back to learning. Like, playing in there, you appreciate other people's roles.
Okay.
Or you see other people's positions, and just from a different perspective, you realise when sometimes I might give a pass into a midfielder, but being on the receiving end of that, you know that that's the wrong pass or the wrong position to give it, or appreciating someone else's role within the team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Broaden your view of the game.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And we were talking before about the 2 Real Madrid games. You played large parts of both those games on the edge of the Real Madrid 18-yard box, dictating play on the edge of their area. That must be, as someone who's primarily played as a centre-back, that must be really exciting to be in that area of the pitch in the biggest games in world football. I mean, it's amazing.
Yeah. No, the way they set up, they kind of allowed us to do that with Toni Kroos and Modric following Kevin and might have been Bernardo on the other side. They just kind of man-marked them and created so much space for me and Rodri to almost get to the 18-yard box. And then once we got there, it was about trying to move them about, moving them out of their zone almost to create space. And Kev's best in the world at making these runs in behind to cross the ball. So it was literally being patient once we got there. And sometimes I find quite a lot that my runs, or when we're so high up the pitch, my movements are to just not get the ball, just to create space for other guys. My quality is not as good as theirs up there, and I know that firsthand. But I want to try and get them on the ball and create space for them and let them do their thing. And that two incredible games.
Which game do you feel you played better in, or which one did you enjoy the most between the second Real Madrid game and the Champions League final?
Champions League final.
Why? And also, were you too tired to finish that, or what was the deal?
What? Which one? The
final. Yeah.
Oh my God! Yeah. Honestly, I'd absolutely burnt out. I was playing right back in that game, and Bernard was in front of me, and I remember running back past him to get back to our box. And I don't know how many times I did that.
It had been a long season by that point.
It was a
as well.
long season. Yeah. I'd have to say Champions League.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like the position that I played as a number 8, and not played it before, I absolutely loved it. I got on the ball so much. I just didn't want what happened in Porto to happen again. Really didn't. And again, I was going up to that game, I was kind of cold. No real emotion. My missus says every time, "Oh, you excited for the game? Any game the next day?" And I'm like, "No, not until it's here." Just don't really think about it too much. I don't want to, overthink things or get too involved. I find that's helped me quite a lot as well, separating football and to home life. So yeah, going into that, I just I'm going to give everything, leave everything out there. Whatever happens. Absolutely loved it. Everything just kind of fell into place. Bit of drama at the end as well for us.
Bit of drama.
Yeah, that's what you wanted, wasn't it? Yeah.
That was the worst 10 minutes I've ever had to watch.
Yeah, it was horrible.
From a nerves perspective.
Yeah.
Completed 7 dribbles in the Champions League final, which is the most in any Champions League final since.
No, but he's playing the role wrong.
Lionel
It's supposed to be an 8.
Since
Not
Lionel
like
Messi
an 11
in
or whatever.
2015.
You know what I mean? It's supposed to be an 8.
Yeah,
so you technically got it wrong.
Still good.
Just get the ball, move it. You know what I mean?
Not dribbling. You talk about family there, John, because when we were in Saudi Arabia for the Club World Cup, your family were around, and not all players did that. Everyone does everything different.
Yeah.
Does that help you, especially because we were there for a week? There wasn't much to do there, and that kind of thing. But did that help you? You just talked about that separation between off the field and on the field.
Yeah.
Is that nice for you?
Yeah, I love it. It was actually one of my son's birthdays, and during that period, and you know how much time we spend away from everyone, and they love coming to the games everywhere, anywhere we go, and especially when we can win something. I feel it's important that they're there to share that with us or with me. Whatever the outcome, I think it's a lesson for my children as well.
Yeah.
And I want to make them proud. You know, I want them to be there with me if we lift a trophy, be on the pitch, feel the atmosphere, what it's like, because these things aren't gonna last forever. You know.
No.
And I really, really cherish like those moments when they're there. But yeah, no, I think the older I've got, the more difficult I find it being away as much, especially internationals, summer times, things like that. So any opportunity, they'll come and support.
That's great.
That's interesting then, because Rob was telling me recently about that whole tactical thing was between you and Pep, that game recently.
Oh yeah,
Side of the pitch.
And it made him
I've seen
think that, you know, when you eventually finish football, you probably go into management or something.
Mm-hmm.
But as we both know, like, as a player you're away, as a manager you're away times 10.
Yeah.
But if you're a big family guy, like, what does the future away from football look like to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I honestly don't know.
You're not going to do the media thing, are you?
What's wrong with that?
I don't know.
Do you not?
Oh,
I've
what's
just
wrong with that?
just never thought.
Oh.
Never had John
Me as a
down
media
in
guy.
that way. Yeah.
He might be. He's got insight.
In the same way that, like,
He's got insight, mate.
No, I'm not.
He can talk.
I know,
That's
I
basically
know
what you said to his face.
He understands football better than I will ever understand it. What I'm saying is, I've not seen. So, like Kyle Walker, for example, you can tell he's sort of like, he does a bit for the BBC. He's feeling his way. With John, I've just never got that impression. But then, seeing that conversation with you and Pep on the side of the pitch the other day, I just thought you would be wasted if you don't go into coaching.
Oh no, I wouldn't be a coach.
Do you not?
No.
But even with everything you picked up from Pep,
just let him explain
in
why.
England,
Just don't drag him into it.
Do you think?
yeah,
Don't worry
No.
about that. Ignore it.
no,
I think it's pretty firm no.
And why is that?
I just I wouldn't. I don't know. I don't think I'd like to be away that much.
Yeah.
Like you said, the away 10 times. Well, working away from home, longer here at the training ground, planning. I think there's a lot more than to being a coach than the eye, like to the eye.
yeah.
And I've just not got passion for it, to be honest.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I love football. I think that's deteriorated over the years, the love, because of it, how much the game's changed, what comes with it now, and I think that's why I've found that, or not solution, but a good way for me to focus or put everything into football is, separating them so much. But yeah, no, I don't. I'm never say never, but my initial feelings is no.
Talk to me about that change then, that you just articulated there. You've obviously, when you were coming through at Barnsley and there was no pressure, and we've seen footage of some of the great games, the time you went to Arsenal and blew him off the park, as in that Barnsley team and stuff like that. Do you feel then that you love, during that period when it got a bit more professional and moving into the Premier League era and all that kind of stuff for you, that maybe it became harder to love it?
Yeah. I think it's just changed so much, I think when you're young, it's not as serious. I don't mean that in that you don't take it serious. It's all new. A lot of things go right for young players that are coming in, and then when things go wrong, you're jumped on, and it's all new. You don't know how to deal with that sometimes. It's difficult to put into words, to be honest. Yeah. I feel like things catch up with you as well. Injuries, time away. To be fair, I've been lucky with finals and things like that, but finals that I've lost as well that are difficult to take. They all kind of play a part in the game itself. And one difficult one for me is I really wish we had more time to celebrate. I think that's the one of the biggest downfalls, because of the amount of work that everyone puts in the club to win something, and then you get a day or two before you move on to international.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that justifies.
That's a really good. But we were talking just before about the new Club World Cup format next year.
Yeah.
So you know the format then?
No.
So the
Of course I don't.
Probably not even worth telling
Is
him.
it not?
No, this might break him.
Basically, your break next year, if you're playing internationals as well, which I'm sure you will be doing, is going to be smaller than ever. And I just looked at it and you just think the calendar basically is getting more and more and more demanding for players, isn't it? And that must be hard for you.
Yeah, because honestly, it's the highest high when you win something. Like, I can't describe it. And I think from a selfish point of view, I just wish it was stretched out.
Yeah.
And I could keep on that high a bit longer.
Yeah.
That's a difficult part, especially in the summer when we had to go to international, and Gareth was great with us, he gave us a few extra days off. I think how we managed that was so good, and it's no one's fault. That's the fixtures of the fixtures. It's just a selfish, upsetting point of view that everyone can't just do it for a bit more.
Do you think England have got a chance?
100%.
Yeah.
You're talking to one of the players? What's he going to say? No.
I'm giving him the opportunity, aren't I? Yeah.
What a ridiculous.
I'm saying there you go. Tell us.
I think incredible.
Yeah.
From the Euros final to then feeling so strong in the World Cup, and just not getting over that line from a few harsh things that happened. I feel we could have gone on and won the World Cup.
Yeah. Do you think if we beat France in that game, we win it? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's. And I said it with injuries, the factors that you sometimes can't control, and obviously Harry misses a penalty, which anyone can do. But yeah, I think we've got an incredible chance, and such a good chance without arrogance. Yeah. I always feel since 2018, the World Cup, that how we've approached things is always been quietly confident, and I love that. It's the same here. We go into things humble, knowing that we can win something, or wanting to win, not willing to win, without that arrogance and lack of respect for whoever we're playing. I always feel whatever team we play, most respect. Any team something can happen. Everyone's got quality, and I think that having that approach or that mindset towards something is key, and it grounds you as well.
I wanted to ask you about one of your teammates, someone we had on the podcast recently, Nathan Ake.
Yeah.
His big smile on his face is good.
Yeah,
I love Nathan.
I mean,
I think everyone does.
Yeah, he's so nice, and his arc at City, the improvement has been dramatic, and I think he's a good advert for being a super professional and a really good human being. I just wanted to get your opinion on him, really.
Yeah, I think you summed it up incredible. I think his journey as a player, with Chelsea, Bournemouth, here now, wasn't easy at the start for him, and he's absolutely flying, and I honestly couldn't be happier for him. Incredible professional, incredible person first and foremost. Everyone loves him, loves to be around him. His energy's great, always making people laugh. and I feel like he's just grown and grown off the pitch, and that's obviously followed him on the pitch as well. How he's playing, just his personal attributes in what he brings to the game, incredible. And so happy for him.
Brilliant 1v1 defender, isn't he?
Incredible, yeah. So good.
Yeah.
His decision making and knowing when to try and tackle. I think now forwards are getting incredible. Just nicking the ball and getting something, getting a foul, getting a penalty, and VAR now that makes even harder for us. He's up there. And he's come up with some big goals as well. Really big goals.
Yeah. One question we ask every one of our guests is about football. What would you change if you had a magic wand, could change anything? And it's not necessarily rules on the pitch, anything about the industry or whatever. We've had some quite interesting answers on this front. But
what we had then so far?
It's a lot on social media. There were a couple on social media.
Yeah, I mean, Erling Haaland was on about the throw-in.
Throw-in?
So the fact that you have to throw it and it go a certain distance, he said, what does it matter? As long as it comes out of your hands and onto the pitch. So a foul throw, he was like, why does it matter?
Yeah.
That was one he had.
I feel like it'd be a waste of a wish, but it's a valid point.
It's a valid point. Rico Lewis was about getting rid of social media because he feels, there's too much bile and negativity on there.
It's possible, yeah.
And we've had VAR discussed as well, haven't we?
By who was it?
I think you like it, don't you?
That's not the question. I said by who?
Who
discussed
Producer
it?
Craig. Was it me?
No, it was you threw it to Erling in a really aggressive way, and he batted it back. Said he wasn't bothered.
He said he wasn't bothered. Yeah, he liked VAR.
Yeah, so just let's check on that one. Yeah.
What would you change? Anything?
He wants more time off, doesn't he? To celebrate his glory.
Which I think is fair enough.
Social media maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see it. I'm not on it. I don't see it. I think that's the best way. I don't think it's real life. I think it's great in some ways, but some of the stuff that's out there now is heightened by it. I think things can get taken out of proportion. Things can set a trend in certain cases in a negative way. I don't like that. I think what players do in every aspect, or try to do, for the game, for people, for the fans, should be held in a better light.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of things that you guys will know that go on away from the pitch, the cameras, everything that guys do for maybe their individual charities or people that come in that are sadly not well or struggling in certain things that the boys jump on or try and support, and we don't want that, or no one wants to publicise that they're doing it because it's out of love.
Yeah.
And I just think in general society that is first negative without
weighing
thinking.
up.
Yeah.
It sounds like you're very good at separating. You talked at the very top of this about not looking beyond the next fixture, literally only knowing the next game.
Yeah.
No social media. You like to have your family life and on the pitch life. Do you think that really helps you just keep that clear head? Because I
think so. Yeah. I think opinions, people's trust. That's a key thing that you need to figure out quite early if you can. Who's gonna be there for you? Who's gonna tell you the right things? Who's gonna be honest with you? Whose opinions matter really? And that's I'd say my family, coaching staff, and teammates, friends. There's 4 kind of groups there, because then you've got the TV media, fans from other teams or your own team, and then everyone in the world on social media that can have or probably 80-70% of the time have a negative view towards you if something's happened.
Yeah. Talk about the fans there. Talking before about how you've you went back to the drawing board and all that kind of stuff. You throughout all of it, the City fans have been right behind you. Have you felt that throughout? Yeah.
100%. I said it a few times, but it's been a love kind of relationship, I hope.
Yeah.
Even through difficult moments for me, I think they realise that that's going to happen in football, and do you know, I always try and just give everything, and I think every City fan appreciates that from every player. If you give everything and leave everything out there, because not every game's going to be easy. It's not always going to go your way. Things are going to happen, but I think if the intention's there and they can see you playing with your heart on your sleeve, they love that, and I think that's all I've ever tried to do. You know, is give everything for the shirt, for my teammates, for everyone. And at the end of the day, we want to make everyone proud, and we've shared some incredible moments together, and through the bad times, that's when we learn the most, I think, as everyone. And without them, we wouldn't be where we are now. Everyone, me first, you know, through mistakes, through bad decisions, through learning, I wouldn't be the player that I am now today. And I suppose sometimes it just clicks and everything comes together, and I thank them for that support and backing always. Yeah.
We have had some questions from fans. One from a guy called Jonathan in Oldham, who says, "John, who cuts your hair?" He wants to know who who cuts your hair. Yeah.
He's Cutthroat Pete. I met him in Liverpool years ago. Ross Barkley introduced me to him.
Yeah.
And we've become such good friends now. I couldn't even tell you how many years he's been cutting it. But yeah, he's cut my hair for years, and I trust him.
Does a good
I think
job.
that's the main thing.
Does a good job. We want you to leave a question for our next guest. We're not going to tell you who it is, but obviously they're connected to City in some way.
Okay.
Can you just leave a question for them blind?
A blind question?
Well, just, without knowing who it is, without knowing who our guest is.
Can you give me an example?
What have we had from others? Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. There's some in here from previous guests. So if you want to pick one of those. Let's see which one it is.
You're feeling down. What's your go-to song to pick you up?
There we go. If you're feeling down, what's your go-to song to pick you up?
What am I answering?
Yeah, let me give you. Yeah, you answer that.
It's the proper therapy session.
My God.
Bit Metallica. All sorts of things out for me. Yeah.
Go-to song. I've not got a song, but I'd go the 80s.
Yeah, it's a great era.
Big 80s fan.
Yeah, it's the best era for music.
I think so.
Yeah. What question?
He's looking at you as if to say what you want.
No, but he's
about.
clearly biased. You know what I mean? This guy's 40 soon. You know,
I am.
and that's
I'm
just,
40
that's,
in June.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying to give you a shout.
wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is a
Born
good era. Yeah.
84. Yeah. 84.
I was 94.
Was you?
That's I'm not even born in that era. But anyway.
It's a great era. It's a great era for
Yeah.
music. So one of our previous guests was Erling Haaland, and we asked him which member of the squad smells the best. It was actually a fan question. And after quite a bit of deliberation, he said it was you.
Right.
So have you got anything to say back to her? I mean, does he
nice.
smell good or what?
Does he?
Yeah.
I think I saw a clip actually. I think it might have got put in or I got sent something. You only know the ones that wear too much.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
He mentioned this, didn't he?
Yeah,
he said
yeah.
there's a few in the dressing room who were like
I think they wear a
wearing
bit
too much.
Yeah.
So is that the secret to be the best smelling man in the City squad? Is
Well, I think you've got. I'm not saying that I am, but I think simplicity is key. You've got to wear just
That's
a
it
bit.
for you, eh?
It's got to be a nice smell.
Simplicity.
Get your hands off me.
Simplicity.
Do you know,
Don't wear too
in
much.
fairness, the thing that's worse with Rob is
Yeah.
like Erling took his time thinking about it, then he answered. And then he was like, "Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah."
No,
so
I
someone's
said-
smelling your clothes when you're training,
No,
mate.
Somebody's
Smelling your clothes
Is that
when
why
you're
my
training.
locker's open?
Somebody's smelling your clothes when you're training.
John, let me clear this up. I said it was you.
Yeah.
And I said, I knew you were going to say that because John Stones looks like a man who smells good.
I don't know if that tells you
And then
about
Erling Haaland laughed and said, I completely agree with you. So anyway, there we go.
I'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take that.
I'll take that.
So what question would you leave for someone? Potentially a teammate of yours, but potentially...
Doesn't have to be serious. Could be daft. Could
Yeah,
be
it
anything.
can be daft.
Could be about anything at all.
All right. What are you thinking to wear when you're coming into training?
Great.
That's my question. Because there's some horrendous gear flying about. That's all I'm saying.
Tell me about it. We see. Yeah.
Can you give me a clue who's coming on?
Do we
next?
know? Have we got an inkling? Who's next? No. We don't actually know yet.
All right. I hope it's someone with bad gear.
Yeah. That's 80% of the squad, though, innit? To be fair.
Big shots, a big number. How many would you say? He said 80%.
80's
At
big.
80%.
That's high.
I think 80% of the squad dress pretty badly.
I think that's
now.
disrespectful.
Yeah.
Unless you're prepared to tell them to their face, I think that's disrespectful.
Like, they
Can
all
you
used to
can you
laugh at
name some
Bernardo.
names?
Yeah, go on
Well,
then.
they all
Name
used-
80% of the squad now.
They all used to laugh at Bernardo's clothes, and I used to look at him and think he's one of the only ones who I would wear
You've got a bit more time.
similar
Keep
clothes.
Keep
to.
going.
Like
keep going.
all the kit lads used to like knock Bernardo, and I used to be like, hang on a minute.
Bernardo's is bad.
Like what?
Well, no. Not bad.
It's comfortable.
He's got his style, and he goes with it.
I respect
We all respect that now.
Now.
He's,
Now.
We've changed.
Right,
honestly.
we've changed. Right.
But yeah.
Fair play. Right, John, thank you so much
No
for joining
worries.
us. That was a
Thanks.
real pleasure. Thank you.
No thanks.
Joao Cancelo, now De Bruyne, on to Stones. Stones hits it! The most unlikely of sorts, but finally they've broken Dortmund down, and it's a collector's item from John Stones.
Nedum, how was that for you?
Really enjoyable.
Yeah.
Really enjoyable. Like, and the fact is, his first podcast as well. I did not know that. And I think he's going to want to do this again because I thought he went that well. Learning about him, his career, there were sort of highs and lows, but then also like he's just really chill.
Yeah.
What a chill guy. Loved it.
Yeah. I think there has been a narrative arc with his time at City when, you know, the support from the fans has been there throughout, but perhaps the support of the media has not been there throughout. And you know, the last sort of 2-3 years, his consistent performances have just been amazing. And I think we got to the bottom of that a little bit, didn't we? We really kind of understood his time at City in a bit more detail.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I like the fact, as you said, that it wasn't just all the ups. There's some downs in there as well. But then that desire to want to be a big part of this team, part of this football club, and how he feels it now. And, you know, externally, media-wise, it sounds like a cliche when someone says just one game at a time. That's the definition of a guy that thinks about it one game at a time.
Actually means that,
He
doesn't he?
literally means it. Like, he looked us in the eye, he said it, and you can see it by the way he approaches things. And, you know, credit to him, because I think that's the way he has to be.
Yeah. What do you think the future holds for John Stones? Because he's 29, he's got loads of years left at the top of the game. His improvement has been so sharp. How much more do you, you know, you're someone who's played the game, how much more can he do?
Do you know what? I think he can do a lot more, but listening to him speak today made me realise he'll probably stop before a lot of people want him to. Because I think, like, as you mentioned, in terms of how football's changed across the years, maybe at some point, for him, he doesn't get the same buzz and same enjoyment anymore. Maybe I could see him just going off and doing something else, or possibly just doing nothing, you know. But for him, he can continue to get better. He's talked about getting better in this last year of his life. You know, this is his 30th year, and he's gotten better as a footballer. That's supposed to happen when you're in your like early 20s, isn't it? So I think he's in a great spot. He's comfortable being in these surroundings where the highest standard is the expectation, being around some of the best players in the world, knowing his role, then knowing that he has to continue to get better to be successful.
I felt like we got some nice light and shade from him today as well. There was some really emotive and serious football parts, and then we saw a little bit more of like probably the John Stones that the guys get in the dressing room and around the squad and all that kind of stuff. We got a nice mix, I think.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, we did. I think as is the case with this podcast, I think it can bring out the best in people because they realise like we're there for them. You know what I mean? They're not here for us. And when he then starts speaking, he's open and he's honest. You can see why more and more people are coming on and why I think the fans, listeners just love the show.
Brilliant. Well, thank you again for joining us.
Pleasure.
That's all we've got time for on this episode of the official Man City podcast. Thank you as ever for joining us. Don't forget to get in touch if there's any former players, current players, former managers, former coaches that you want to hear from. We would love to hear from you. And until next time, take care of one another and we'll see you soon.
The unbeatable official Manchester City podcast. Watch the full video version of this show via City Plus now.